When I was a kid, I remember my parents getting me a little microphone, and I also had a little guitar. I must have been about 4 or 5 years old. I couldn't really describe it, but when I would use that mic and guitar, it made me feel a certain way. It was hard to put it into words, but it made me feel good, to simplify it. I grew up in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn. I was born in the 80s. I came up in a real raw and rough environment. The stuff the rappers talk about, I was a part of that environment. It seemed like someone was always trying to put a gun in my hand, and I had every opportunity to be a bad guy and a thug. But I didn't want any part of that. I always loved playing basketball. I would play in tournaments, in different leagues. But I never played for my school because I was never eligible to play due to bad grades. So my friends had a term for people in my situation: the best player in gym, not in the organized games. One day I was on the block and my friends were in a cipher. And one friend said to the other, "You can't sing." And somehow that started a sing-off in the hood. So finally, they asked me to sing. But they didn't know that's what I would do in the house. My mother would always say, "Son, you're going to sing for the glory of God." And I would say, No, I'm gonna play basketball. It was never cool to be a singer in the hood. It was considered soft and less of a man. So for a long time, I shied away from it. When I was like 13, I purchased this black and white camera from Tyco. And after school, I would record my own music videos to my favorite rapper songs and R&B songs for hours and hours and hours. Bone Thugs and Harmony, Method Man, Jay-Z, Nas, and people like that.
It's 98 right now, like 3 minutes to 9. That's how I get the last word. Oh, y'all niggas know this shit, I ain't playing. 9, I'm coming. Me, Deli Style, we coming, hit the record business. And we just gonna let y'all niggas know. Don't play around. Don't act funny. You know how I do, strictly lyrical. Protect your neck and your vest too. Cause what you gonna do when I come for you? Brutally bash, smash, and wreck your whole crew. Recognize. Peace.
When I was about 16, me and my family moved to Florida.
You see me, son? Huh?
Yeah, I see you, but...
You can hear me, son? You can hear me on the TV? Huh?
I don't know. I hear something.
Come closer. You see me good?
Yeah.
Yo, y'all couldn't hear me before, but now I'm back. Aim it down a little bit. Now I'm back, son. It's my word. Niggas don't... Yo, you see the... Look at the hair, son. You see my hair, Ma? You see my hair?
Wait. Yeah.
You see the zigzag, son?
Slightly, yeah.
They didn't believe me. You see the ice, son? See the wrist? You see the earring, kid? You see my earring?
Slightly.
Word, son. We chilling down here, son. Like I was saying, shout out to all my niggas on VB. All my niggas at Humanities High School. My nigga Lulu. Yo. 718 forever, son. You hear me, kid? You got a future NBA All-Star right here. Come closer, ma. Come over this way to the left. This way. Aim it that way.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see the progress now.
See it?
Yeah. Yeah, okay.
And I asked my brother while I was living there to send me some music from NYC. This was like around 2000, like around November or something like that. So I had a little black and white video camera with me, and I had some of my favorite R&B songs, and my brother sent me some rap music, and I started mimicking these rap artists that I like. While I was still there, I attended an extravaganza at my high school. I was sitting in the audience, and this young girl got up and sang a song. And for the first time, I was captivated in person, but also I could see myself on stage singing. When I moved back to New York, I started writing my own songs, but not really for others to hear. I wasn't out yet. But one day, I was singing I Believe I Could Fly in the shower, and my brother came and knocked on the door really hard, and I yelled back, "What?" I really thought he was gonna clown me and tell me to shut up the noise or something. But he totally surprised me with a pause and said, "Yo, you sound good." For a young teen to hear that, it really was a big boost for me to start letting people hear me. I ended up buying myself a karaoke machine. It had 2 tape decks. I would take one tape deck, put one tape in it to record my lead vocals, another tape deck, move it to the side to record my dubs and my ad-libs. So I just kept exchanging it. By the time the tape got out, it sounded like... Some of my family would come and knock on the door and say, "Daniel, shut up that noise," because I would sing at any time of the day. My boy had connections with Henchman Entertainment, so I would go there during my senior year of high school. I played my song for a guy there, and he quickly took out my muffled, staticky tape and said, "When you get a CD, when you get something on CD, come back." I ended up recording my first song there that night, and my boy told me, "Yo, I can get you signed in like 6 months to Motown." I was so excited, man. That situation didn't work out, but it was a wake-up call that I needed to step my game up. And one day, my boy told me to come through, but he never showed up. I happened to go to the back room where the receptionist told me to go, and I guess it was some illegal stuff going on back there, because one of the main guys straight up barked on me. He told me, "Don't ever come back here like that again." And I'm not gonna front, I was shook. So I got out of there as soon as possible, and I never went back. Now that I had my first song recorded as a demo, a lot of the rappers in the hood wanted me to sing on their songs. And my brother was already doing his rap thing. So I jumped on this song called "We Rollin'." I struggled in high school and had to go to an alternative school, where I met a math teacher that introduced me to a woman named Audrey Levine, who had a program called AJL, which stands for Add Joy to Learning. So June 6, 2002 was my first performance ever. It was such a special moment because at first it was really scary. And if you watch the tape closely, you can see me hiding behind my brother a bit. It was a really great moment though. I did many performances after that.
But you also get to see how much I've grown throughout the years and where I've actually come from. And I'm thankful.
And how long have you been there at Adrenaline?
Not too long, I just got there, but they allowed me to say a little bit.
Positive vibes already?
Yeah, I love it.
How long you two are brothers, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, and who's the oldest of the two?
Well, I'm the oldest.
And who's the lyricist?
Well, we're both lyricists, but I'm the rapper. He's the singer.
Okay.
Alright.
And what do you guys want to do?
Well, we're going to do a little song called We Rollin'. A little R&B hip hop thing
Alright.
for y'all. Yo, decent, man.
What up, man?
You ready to do this, man?
I'm ready.
Is you ready to do this?
Streets is rough, kid.
Yo, I hear you,
know?
baby. We're about to get this started. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yo. 1, 2.
What up?
You tell me.
About to tear it
You
down.
tell me, son.
Holla.
Yeah, man. Chill it. Calm down, baby. Yo.
Can't escape. Gotta get
Yeah.
away. Gonna see that day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, soft spoken. When I talk, boppers I walk. Pass a corpse outlining chalk in Brooklyn, New York. Crack valves scattered the sidewalks. Easy roll dice, broken down home. We couldn't pay the bill, there's no lights. Just a daily way of life for us breathing in all 4 seasons. And why cops stop you for no reason? Leave you bleeding, your mother bereaved, howling and screaming. While we trapped down on the surface with these zombies and demons. Gotta stay on point. Young thugs rolling they joint. Such a young age, though things infected with AIDS. Posting pictures of missing kids. Kidnappers live where you live. There's a rapist next door, piss on the floor, project halls. Graffiti on the side of your walls, tacked up. Homeless man outside shaking his cup, painting murals of dead loved ones. From a love of a gun, a mother lose her son, left with memories, faded pictures, how things could be inside his pain. Most kids quit school, head for life in the fast lane. Summer's hot, gamble spots ran on your block. Keep your money in your sock with your hand on your Glock. Robberies, homicides, white and blue collar crimes. Looking at these headlines of my New York Times, still I gotta love it. Stay wise and move above it. Point out the seductors and avoid the clutches. Stood in a stance in the tight pants, gave me a glance. Shook it fast, walked past, try to put me in a trance. I'm a fool for romance, women to blow your mind and leave you blind. I carry 9, so what I need with a dime. Yo,
Dash in the wheel,
Yeah.
run for more hops, toss that
yeah.
block, cause I ain't getting out, we
yo, we
rollin'.
rolling straight to the top.
We
Yo, we
rollin'.
rolling straight to the top.
Run down rims, pocket full of
Yeah.
rings.
Come on.
First pair of Timbs for all of my friends, we
Listen,
rollin'.
yo, I ain't getting knocked.
We rollin'.
Hold up.
I have a really bizarre story to tell, but it's real, so I have to tell it. One day, me and my group, myself, one of my brothers, and another member had a performance at NYU's open mic. And I remember they put us on last, and we were very upset about that. We had been working on a song called Butt Naked. And it was a very vulgar and degrading song. It degraded women. So back then we didn't have any filter or standards or anything like that. So in order to get back at them for putting us up last or putting us on last, we decided to perform that song. We totally offended the crowd. I could look at their faces in shock as each word was like a bad odor moving across the room and causing people to cringe. But after the show, I still gave out my demo CD that I was working on called Still Inspired. I received an email from a guy saying my girl gave me your CD and she said you guys were wilding on stage and the song was crazy. But when I listened to your CD, it was totally different than what she described it as. So I guess that was a blessing in disguise because this guy ended up asking me to come on his TV show and do a performance, his public access TV show, and do a performance. Not only did I do that, but he also asked me to host the show. So I started hosting my own public access TV show in New York City for a while, and that was a blessing. I remember a show I did where I performed, and at the end, someone asked me, who did you think was better tonight? And I couldn't say me, because the guy who came up after me played the piano beautifully, and he sang so beautifully. He could do something that I could not do, which was play the keys. Something was definitely missing in my life, because I didn't want to do the things that my old friends were doing. Smoking, drinking, the gangster stuff. I ended up going to my uncle's house, and one day I asked him to teach me to play keys. I knew that he was a jazz musician, and I really wanted to learn. He told me, I will teach you, but you have to sit by me on Sundays during church service. So for 6 years, I sat by my uncle learning music. And after church services, most times, it was just me and God and the keys. While everyone else was ready to go home, I would just sit there and play. I was like a sponge. Everything my uncle would teach me, I would absorb it. And a year later, I picked up the guitar because I didn't want to sit down and sing. I wanted to stand and sing, and I thought I can do that with the guitar. My brother Ron was also giving me piano lessons, and I was going to Mercy College for music. I was also singing in the choir, so my voice was getting stronger, and I was getting experience singing with other singers. I was being blessed by the word of God too, so it was a win-win all around. And I got to spend time with my uncle too. There came a time when I needed beats, because I was now creating songs, but I didn't have none. I knew my brothers could make them because they're musicians, and my uncle. I found myself going to one and being told to go to the other. So I would go to my uncle. He would say, go to your brothers. I go to one brother, he'll say, ask the other brother. It felt like I was just going around in circles. And then when you go to producers that you really don't know like that, it can become very expensive very fast. So I started watching my brothers and learning how to make my own beats. My brothers, church, composing class in college, private lessons, my uncle, they all helped me to start laying down my own beats. In my mid-20s, my boy Taekwon gave me a beat, and he said I should write to it. I had this song that I was trying to write about a girl, but the words just would not come to me. And by this time, I felt like I wrote so many songs that it should come to me more easy, effortless. But it didn't. So for the first time, I did something that I had never done before. I asked the Lord to give me the words. I took a moment to listen, and I heard it can only be one way, God's way. That's the name of my first gospel song. 2009, I released my first gospel album called God's Way. I had an album release concert at Onward Ministries, and it was one of the best experiences of my life. A few people opened for me, and when I came to the mic, I tried to speak, but everyone stood up and started clapping. It was one of the first times I was overwhelmed with joy because they clapped so loud that as I tried to speak, I had to stop and take in that moment of celebration. It was nothing short of beautiful. From 2010 until now, in 2022, I would go through many adversities, things that tried to make me a walking crippled. Trauma, panic attacks, feeling weak, mind battles from the trauma, and some things that I'm still not ready to talk about publicly. And only a relationship with God could keep me and help me make it through. I'm currently looking for my new sound, and I do not believe in being stuck in one genre. But by His grace, throughout the years, I've released 3 gospel albums, 4 children's books, 1 kids CD, 2 short films based off the children's books. And after all my struggles in school, I went back to school in Florida at age 30. I would take 3 city buses from Sanford to Orlando and had many social struggles because of the age gap. I didn't have a car, but got around with an e-bike that would break down on me every other day. And I was also miles away from my immediate family and friends. 2 months from graduation, a teacher tried to fail me. It was like I had the wind knocked out of me. I ended up in a mediation for about an hour where I had to verbally fight for my life. I had pains in my stomach. I had a hard time sleeping. And after I won that mediation battle, in the next couple of weeks, financial aid said I had no more money and would need a scholarship. I was physically drained and fatigued because of my long Florida journey, which lasted about 2.5 years. But I fought to the end, and today I have my bachelor's degree in film, and I'm now considering a master's degree. Right now I'm in a very good place. I've gone through what many may call the developmental process. My boy Ty calls me Bruce D-Roy because he says in many ways I've become a master. And I believe I do have the glow. But I'm not talking about magic. I'm talking about the power of the Holy Spirit. So I just want to say thank you to everyone who has helped me along the way. My mom, dad, 2 brothers, my friends, and every church family that I'm associated with. Thank you so much. I will not quit. And I truly believe the best is yet to come. So how did I get my name Young Decent? Well, when I knew it was time for me to find a name, I started trying to combine my name, Daniel, with other families' names. Like Mike, I would say D, Mike. I was like, no, that don't work. How about my brother, D, Ron? So finally I got to my mom and I said D, Cent. And it just matched. Because her name is Cynthia. People call her Cent for short. And people call me D, short for Daniel. So I just put D, Cent, and just put it together. And it's been history since then.